Good evening, guys. Let us solve one more problem again from SBI PO Mains 2019. This is a very good problem. It's a very tricky problem also. Wonderful problem. Let's try to solve it. This is actually a square and square kind of sitting arrangement. Let's try to look at how to solve this kind of problems. A square table is inscribed in another square table. So one square table inside another square table. 8 family members PQRS PUVW are sitting in the middle of the side of the squares. That means one is sitting here, another is sitting here, 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 here. At middle of the sides. Right? They are sitting like this. We don't know. It is not necessary that PQRS is outside and TUVW is inside. Nothing like this. Anyone can sit anywhere, anywhere. Right? And each person sits at one square. Each person sits at one square is facing his or her spouse. So, for example, if this is husband, this has to be wife. Or if this is wife, this has to be husband. Similarly, this is husband, this is wife. That means there are 4 husbands in this PQRSTUVW and 4 wives. Right? Each person sits at one square is facing his or her spouse. Spouse means either husband or wife. Right? Now V faces Q. We don't know the gender of V or gender of Q. V faces Q means somewhere they are sitting, either if V is sitting here, Q will sit here, or if V sits here, Q will sit here, or any of this together. Right? Any of these lines. There are 4 options, four combinations, and actually in each combination we can sit on either side. So there are 8 places for this V and Q. Right? Only one person sits between V and husband of R. Okay? V is female or male, we don't know. And husband of R definitely, that means R is female. This much we know. But still we don't have any clue. W faces the one who is an immediate neighbor of R, which is fine. We don't know where is R, so we can't even tell where is W. P is an immediate neighbor, neither of R nor of W. P is not a neighbor of R, or W. Right? If R is here, P cannot be here, P cannot be here. Right? It means like that. P can be in the other circle also. Sorry, and in the other square also. It is saying nothing about the same which square, whether P is an outer square, inner square, nothing. It is just saying P is not neighbor of R and W. R and W, but still there are a lot of other slots. W doesn't face T. Okay, so what that means is W is not husband or wife of T. P sits immediate left of S, who faces inside. This is the first clue that we are getting to start the problem, right? P sits immediate left of S, who faces inside. That means the people who are facing inside are the ones who are sitting on the outer square, right? Both are facing each other. So outer square people are facing inside and inner square people are facing outside. That's why they face each other, right? Otherwise, there is no possibility. So now P sits immediate left of S, who faces inside. So that means this is S. Let's start somewhere. And this is P. That's it. Do we have any other clue apart from this? We know V faces Q. That means, what does that mean? V and Q can sit in this location or in this location, right? VQ can sit in these 2 places only. V can be inside, Q can be inside, we don't know. But because this is already taken by P and S, VQ cannot sit in these 2 corners. Let's see if there are any clues. Only one person sits between V and husband of R. We don't know where is R. We don't know who is husband of R. W faces the one who is in immediate neighbor of R. We don't know where is R. So we don't know where is W also. W doesn't face T. Okay, P sits immediate left of S. So this has become kind of little tricky. That's why this is a tricky problem. Now let's try to understand. Let's try to look with more concentration. Okay, what we are saying, only one person sits between V and husband of R. Okay, only one person sitting between V and husband of R. R's husband. What does that mean? V and R's husband. That means V and R's husband are on the same square. That means V and R are on opposite side. opposite squares or on different squares basically, not even opposite, we should call them different or on different squares, right? Because we and R's husband is sitting in the same square. That means we and R, because R and R's husband cannot sit on the same square, right? So if R is sitting in the inner square, R's husband can sit in inner square, and we can take the same square, right? We and R's husband are sitting in the same square, right? We and R's husband are sitting in the same square. What does this mean? Right. Only one person sits between we and husband of R. What does that mean? Husband and of R and we are sitting in the same square only. Other than only one person can sit between them, right? It cannot happen that we is sitting in one square and our husband is sitting in another square. Then there is no concept of one person sitting between them. We and our husband are actually sitting on on the same square. Now, V has two options. We can sit here as per this condition. V faces Q, right? V has in the outer square, V has only two options. V has only two options, right? In the inner square, V has four options. Inner square, V has four options. If V is sitting in the outer square, then our husband has to be either he cannot sit here, right? Basically, we can sit here. If we is sitting in outer square, our husband can has to sit here, which can be yes. Or if we sits here, our husband has to sit here because there should be one person between them. We don't know whether P or whether one of them P or S is our husband also. Definitely one thing we know for sure that our husband at least cannot sit in these two slots. That much is clear at this point. Okay, W faces the one who is an immediate neighbor of R. Okay, so we don't know where is R again. Okay, let's try to understand P is an immediate neighbor neither of R or W. P is not a neighbor of R or W. That means R or W cannot sit here. Right, right, because the only thing we can say is R or W cannot come in this point. That is the only thing that we can say. No, R, W cannot come in this point. Let's try to look. We got some clues about R because there is something about R's husband and there is some location about R. Let's try to go in this direction. What is the possibility of R? And whether R can sit inside or outside? Can R sit inside or outside? That is the question. See, if R has to sit outside, where can he sit? P is an immediate neighbor neither of R or W. Only this option is there. If R has to sit outside, the only option is where? The only option is this, right? The only option is this. Because he cannot sit next to P, only option is this. And what does that mean? W faces the one who is an immediate neighbor of R. What does that mean? Okay, R only one point is this, right? If R is sitting here, W has to face W faces the one who is immediate neighbor of R. Who is immediate neighbor of R? Either this or this, right? So where should W sit? W can sit here or here. So basically what we are trying to see, where can R sit? If R is sitting in the outside circle, in the outside square, R can sit only here. If R can sit here, there are only two options for W, either here or here, because W faces someone who is an immediate neighbor of R. Neighbor of R is either this or this, and W has to be in the inside circle. Now, there is one more condition. Only then if R is sitting here, where is R's husband sitting? R's husband is here. R's husband is here, right? If R is here, R's husband is here. Right. Now, what does that mean? V and Q. V and Q, where they will go? They cannot sit here, right? V and Q, they cannot sit here. So that means V and Q have to be here only. Right. Either V is inside or V is outside, we don't know. V is inside or V is outside, we don't know. Either of them will be inside or out. Either of them will be outside. Now, there is one more condition. Only one person sits between V and husband of R. Right. See, R's husband, we earlier discussed. R's husband is inside. That means we also has to be inside. They both have to be in the same table. Right. Now V has only this slot. Inside table, the only slot that is available for V is this. Right. Because we earlier discussed V and Q has to be either here or here. This slot is already gone. Because Q has to be here, or Q has to be here or here, V has to be here or here, or here or here. That's what we had discussed. Now this slot is also gone. That means VQ has to be in this slot only, and R's husband is inside, and that means V has to be inside. Right? Only this slot is available, but this is not possible because what they have one more condition. What is that one more condition? That only one person sits between V and a husband of R. So we cannot take this slot. We has to take this slot, which is not possible because if we takes this slot, this has to be taken by Q, not by P. Right. So what does that mean? If R is sitting outside, there is no slot for VQ. Right. Because R's husband will sit inside, and there is no way that two people can be accommodated. There is a person who can be accommodated between V and R's husband. So what does that mean? R cannot sit outside. Right. You understood this point, right? So R cannot sit outside. How did we derive? We derived basis V facing Q condition, basis only one person sitting between V and husband R condition, and P is not immediate neighbor of R and W. Right. These three conditions we have taken. And then we tried to fit R in the outside circle, or if R has to fit an outside circle, only this slot is there. And if that slot is there, then V and Q have to take this slot. Our husband will take this slot. And there is no way one person can sit between this slot and this slot. These are adjacent to each other. Right. So clearly, R cannot be in the outside square. Right. This much is clear, right? So R has to stay inside only. Because if R is staying outside, there is no possibility for, there is no place for V. Right, because if R is staying outside, R's husband will stay inside. R has to stay here only. R's husband will have to stay here only, and V has to stay here anyway. So there is no place for a neighbor between or a person between V and husband of R. So R has to stay inside only. Now P. Now if R is staying inside, let's look one more condition. W faces the one who is an immediate neighbor of R. What does that mean? W is facing immediate neighbor of R. That means what? If R is W and R, they have to stay on different squares, right? WR, W and R, different squares, right? Because W facing the one who is immediate neighbor of R. So that means W is facing R's neighbor. That means W is kind of in the other square. The W and R cannot be in the same square. That means W has to be in outer square. Now we decided R has to be inner square. That means W has to be in the outer square. Outer square, only two options are there. But it is already said P is not immediate neighbor of R or W. So W cannot sit here. Only option is W has to sit here. And R is inside, by the way. R is inside square. Right. And what is that mean? V and R's husband have to be on the same square. Right. V and R's husband have to be on the same square. What does that mean? Have to be on the same square. That means V and R will be on the opposite square. R is inside square. V has to be outside. That means V only slot that is available is this V. If V is this, is then the spouse will be Q. Q will be here. This is given already. W does not face T, and V's husband, V and husband of R. Husband of R, V and only one person sit between V and husband of R. Who is husband of R? Then S is husband of R. Right. V is sitting here, one person between. So this is husband of R. R. What does that mean? R has to sit here. Right. Because all spouses are facing each other. Right. Now, who else is rest? T and U are left. T and U are left. Right. Now we are given one more condition. W doesn't face T. What does that mean? T has to sit here. W has to sit here. Right. Q is the only one that is left. Right. So P and T are husband and wife. V and Q are again they are married. U and W are married. R and S are married. Right. So this is the condition, or this is the solution. Right. You have understood this, right? It looked little tricky, but the solution you will get when we try to think little deep than what it is written. We try to understand where can R sit, whether R can sit in inner triangle, inner square or outer square. Then we are able to figure out that R, the only option is inner square. There is no outer square possibility. And rest all followed. Okay. Who among the following sits immediate right of wife of S? Who is wife of S? Is R, right? Wife of S is R. R is basically S's wife, right? Husband of R is yes. Who is right of R? R is facing outside, right? R is facing down, right? R is facing this side, right? All these people, this one is facing like this one is facing like this one is facing like this, right? Now, who is right of R? Right of R is T. Who among the following is the spouse of U? Whose spouse is W, right? Who among the following faces T? Who faces T? P, right? See, this is a very good, fantastic problem. Hope you understood this. If you have not understood, then please comment and we'll take this up again. Thank you, guys.